My dad built all this, he put all this wood paneling in before I was even an idea. I don't even know if I was ever an idea. It just sort of became a reality. Hi, my name is Jeff Orlowski, and I am a filmmaker based out of Boulder, Colorado. This wall in this bedroom for a long time, like literally was a wall of just Nat Geo photographs. Those were my early influences in many ways. In college, I had the amazing opportunity to work with a Nat Geo photographer named James Baylog and got to apprentice under him and study with him. And it was that process where I then was carrying a video camera and I was following him around and following his work and his project. And, multiple years later, that turned into Chasing Ice, my first feature. After Chasing Ice came out, we were considering all sorts of different projects and ideas and developing ideas. And then Richard Vevers sent me this email and said, "Hey, loved what you did with ice. Did you know that changes were happening with corals?" And I felt like I knew so much about climate change, but didn't know anything about what was happening in the ocean. And he kind of completely blew my mind. And I feel like I'm well informed. I read the news on a regular basis. I feel like I've got a good pulse of what's going on, what's accurate, what's truthful. And then when a completely new idea falls in your lap and shatters your perceptions and your understanding of the world, I sort of look at that as a huge opportunity to say, wait a second, like if this is news to me, it's going to be news to somebody else too. I think there is something super powerful with films and with feature films. It's a place where you go and you turn your phone off. You disconnect from the rest of the world, that you say, I'm going to give this creative an hour and a half of my life. That's a really, really special thing. Like, we don't have many opportunities where we shut the rest of the world off and pay dedicated, focused attention anymore. With working on our latest film, The Social Dilemma, there's been a lot of time thinking about mindfulness. There's this framing in social media about content creation, and content creation is so different than making art. If you're trying to make something that is trying to say something, that has a purpose, that has a message, nuance, multiple layers of meaning, something that hits an audience in an impactful and emotional way, that's very, very different than just sitting back and passing time as I scroll and laugh and whatever works on me. Are we becoming a society of passive consumers where in many ways our eyeballs have become the product, our eyeballs have become the commodity that is being sold against? And what does that do to us individually and collectively? There's this adrenaline that comes with adventure sports, but in part, I think that it's less a matter of the adrenaline and it's more a matter of forced presence. And so you forget about everything else in life, all the other stresses, all the other pressures, all of that disappears, and your entire attention and focus is on, where's my foot going to go right now? And so, I don't know, for me, there's always been something beautiful in nature in countless ways, where there's an opportunity for, and in sometimes the forced need to be extremely present and in the present moment. And I think that's where a lot of people find bliss in the outdoors. I think in many ways, COVID, if I'm seeking a silver lining, is that I believe a lot of people have had these deep reflections around, like, what do I want my life to be like? Not just getting through this particular year and this particular pandemic, but what does it mean to be human? What does it mean to have meaningful connection with people?